So welcome to our last TCC Confer for the semester, well, at least for CA45B. And I hope you all are doing well and surviving. And tonight's agenda is, I have a few announcements to tell you. Then we'll go over some questions you may have about Chapter 14 and status reports. And then we'll go over Chapter 15. And there's something in 16 I really do want to go over, and part of 17. And we'll go over what will be on the final exam, discuss the homework for the week, review of what we learned, and then talk about what's next after this class. What are some options for you? Okay? Does that sound like a plan? Okay. All right. Let's go to the announcements. First of all, tonight's session may be a little bit longer because we're going to cover some multiple chapters here. So, and then the final exam, if you recall, I have to give it the first day of finals. So I decided, well, I'll make that 12:01 a.m. on Monday, December 10th, which is actually Sunday night, December 9th. So. Another announcement, all homework must be in by Saturday, December 15th, 11:55, even if it's late. And the final project assignment is due at the same time. Okay. First of all, do you have any questions about the Chapter 14 assignment about getting your project on track and looking at time, scope, and costs, and what are the adjustments that you can make? There's one thing you really need to focus on in that chapter is that before you can make some radical adjustments, such as taking people off, substituting cheaper resources, and things like that, you should confer with your project team and or supervisor. So that's an important factor. And that's going to be different depending on the project and depending on your work relationships too. So, but in my experience, I've always had to confer with my project team, not usually with my supervisor, because unless it was something very heavy cost related. And then the status reports were very good. Just a few things about them. And when you're talking about the work completed, some people were saying, I completed task number 21 through 27, or I plan to complete the milestone. And generally, we don't refer to that because remember, this is a status report and you may not have your project file. And even if you did, you probably would just have some kind of summary report. So things like task numbers and milestones are somewhat meaningless to those who are going to read these. So that's why I said just don't leave those, or make sure that you leave those out. The other thing is some people didn't run a spell check or grammar check, and so there were some spelling and grammatical errors. So be careful with that. Remember, you have to, part of you as your job, your major job as a project manager is to communicate effectively. So some of you were putting just a simple present tense for work completed, and it should be the past tense. We accomplished this, we did this, and blah, blah, blah. And some of you were putting in future dates in the work completed area, so these were things that hadn't even happened yet. So all future work should go into work to be done, whether that's going to be the next week or the next couple weeks, but it should not be in the work completed area. And this is a minor thing, but some people forgot to remove the directions, like, this is where you would put blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not supposed to be in there. So, but otherwise, they were very good, and I just wanted you all to just remember these things because you're going to turn in a second one, which will be an update. Maybe about a week and a half to 2 weeks beyond what your project since the first status report. So. Any questions about Chapter 14 or status reports, Shakir? Okay. Well, let's move on then. And let's see. Let's go to chapter 15. The focus of this chapter really was applying advanced formatting and printing. And I'm not going to go over each thing because it will take us a while. It's pretty straightforward. There are the book, what it takes you through the exercise is it has you look at the Gantt chart, and you can make some modifications to the bar styles if you would like. You can modify the existing ones, and you can put in your new ones. So, and then I think we've worked with timeline view earlier, so this is a little bit of rehash over a previous chapter we had on this. But anyway, you can make modifications to your timeline view as well. And then there's the two new views that we hadn't gone over, and we have the network diagram view, which kind of looks like a flow chart. So, you know, the best thing I could say about that is, you know, you can't really tell the duration so much in there. It looks more like, you know, the activities and the relationships between them. And some people like that view. And then there's the calendar view. So if you'd like to kind of a month-to-month snapshot, kind of like a whatever calendar you use, whether it's in Microsoft Outlook or some other program, kind of gives you that view too. So there was a couple of things I did want to show you that you have a little bit more control that the book doesn't talk about, and then I'm gonna send this over there. Let's see. Let's go to sharing, and I'm going to go to Microsoft Project now. And okay. Again, there's a couple ways that you can modify. Oh, Shakir, do you see Microsoft Project right now? Yeah, so there's a couple ways that you can modify bar styles. One is you can just right-click on it, and if you go to Format Bar, it'll bring up just that part. And then there's the larger one where a little bit more. A little bit more, well, I should say, has more. It's going to have more of a generic effect, more of a global effect on your bar styles. And that would be if you go into Format and you go to Format here, and Bar Styles, and then that's going to bring up the more global effect. And this is where you can insert one like they're going to have you do here, and to show you interim. They saved an interim baseline, and so that's what the green is showing up as there. But you can modify any of these here too. Okay, so you can add them, you can modify them, and so forth. So. Then going back to, if you recall, if you go to View and go to click on there, you can make modifications to your timeline. You can just change, you know, these particular summary tasks, and then go to text styles over here, and then make some changes to the font or the, you know, those kind of changes. The other view I wanted you to see is a couple of them, and one is the network diagram view. And let me get rid of the timeline right now so you can see that a little bit better. But you can, you know, right now it has it shows. Let me see if I can make that a little smaller. And as you can see, it's more of a flow chart effect. So it's going to give you the summary tasks there, the overall project summary tasks, and these different ones. And you can um, see that the X's have are completed tasks. You have, the book doesn't show you this, but I wanted to show you something here. If you go to Format and if you go to Layout, they don't talk too much about this, but you can make some changes on the link style between those. And first of all, you can see that the red means that those are critical tasks. Those links are between those tasks are critical. You can change, of course, the color, but you probably want to keep your critical tasks as red. You can change your alignment and stuff, and you can change the link style. So you can have it straight or rectilinear, and rectilinear is going to look more like your typical flow chart. So the book doesn't talk about that, but I wanted you to see that those are some other options there too. And you can make it, and then you can do the same thing here in straight links. You can also, you know, avoid the link labels or keep it, because it's going to show you the type of relationship between the tasks. And you can, you know, you can get rid of the summary tasks, and then it'll look like that. But so there's some changes in there that you can make. You can also modify, you know, an individual box and what that should look like too. So anyway, so you have some more control than the book goes into detail about. The other view that is there, and this gives you kind of a month to month. Oops, excuse me. Go to View and go to Calendar, and so you can do it similar to like Microsoft Word. You can see a similar. You can forward to different months. You can even have a week's view, which is going to look like that, and then you can customize it too. And you can say, I'd like to, you know, just show, you know, 2 weeks, and then it will do that well. So there are some views here that might be helpful to people. Not sure if you think that's helpful, but there, you know, if you like more of the traditional calendar view, I find it a little hard to read with all of the different bars, but you know, some people may like that. So that's what part of the chapter goes over, and then the other part is going on modifying reports and looking at different print views. And I'm going to go back to the Gantt chart here, and here is where I can go to File and Print, and of course make some, you know, specific modifications here. I can tell it to print the entire project. I can give it specific dates. I can go into Page Setup, and under Page I can have it fit 1 by 2. I can fix the margins. I could put in headers and footers. And then there's also a legend, which is down here, and I can have that view different things here as well, so you can put it on every page. Then the last thing I think is very important if you're going to be printing sometimes your project. This is probably something that you want to click off, and that is the print the blank pages, so that won't, you know, it won't have such a long document too. And there's also the print all sheet columns, as much as you can to get in there. So anyway, so those are some options that they talk to you about. Another option that they talk to you about is saving it as a PDF, or you can actually save it as an XPS document, which is more of a proprietary document. And you just click on Create PDF, you do that, and it'll give you kind of how you did your formatting. So anyway, so that's how the chapter ends in there. Oh, there was one other thing. They do have you go into, if you go to Project and you go to Reports, you can select a report and then actually edit it, and you can make some changes to how you want the report to look. And you can make different things you can change in there. So, and then when you click on that report again, it will take those changes. So, okay. Any questions about Chapter 15? And I can't remember if I've gone over this before, but one of the major sections of Chapter 16 that I wanted to go over with you is this whole thing of customizing your quick access toolbar and the ribbon. And I think I showed you this a few weeks ago, but I'm just going to go over it again real quickly. First of all, this is your quick access toolbar, and then you can customize the ribbon to add things like, I have one called Pat's Custom Tab, and you can add the things that are more common there. Now, one of the reasons why you may want to, you could put almost anything up here in the quick access toolbar. The problem is that it starts to get very small, and you can't, even though you can hover over those things and it'll tell you. Sometimes people don't like that so crowded, so they may have more real estate and choose to use the quick access, the custom tab. Let's look at how to customize the quick access toolbar. The easiest way to do it is to go to the More button, or More down arrow here. It'll say Quick Access Toolbar, and then you can add the ready-made commands, right, or the commands that are already here, or you can click on More commands, and then you can choose those here. If you don't see what you want here, you can even go to commands and all commands, and then that's going to give you almost everything, and then you can add those by clicking in different things there. So if I sometimes will be comparing two projects, I may want the Arrange All command view, and then I can have that there. And then you click OK, and now I have even a new, I have the project, I have so many things up here. If that gets too crowded, the other thing that you can do is you can right-click on any tab and go to Customize the Ribbon. Again, it's a little bit different in that you can choose, these are going to be the different groups in there, but you're going to have to make your own custom tab, and all you have to do is either click New Tab, and then you can click, and then you can have multiple groups within that tab, such as the way I did the Pat's Custom tab here, and I have two groups here, and I have favorites, those in here, and then I have scheduling here. So you can't, if you click on, you can click on that, and then that would add it to, you click on the group you want and then click Add, and it'll add it there. You can also add it to here as well, and it will, oops, I'm sorry, it's only going to add it to the custom group, so it's going to make a default group there. So, so in this case, it's the favorites group here. But anyway, so if you want to make, if you want to start from scratch, you would just click on New Tab. You can rename the group. You can call it, you just click on Rename, and you have to assign a little button to it first, and then you call it as My Favorite Group, or whatever you want to call it. Group. And then and then you can change the name of this one too. You rename that, and then in the group, that's when you can start adding the different tasks or commands that you want. Okay. Now, oh, hold on one second. I have to get rid of the dog. Hold on. Johnny, can you call the dog? I'm sorry about that. I didn't know she was coming in. But anyway, So now the one thing I want to say is that you can do this in any Office 2010 application. Of course, the commands are going to be different, and your groups are going to be different, and your the ribbons are going to be different a bit. But you can customize every one, and they will stay. Of course, this is not going to stay if I open up at Microsoft Excel because those have totally different commands compared to projects. So, any questions about that, Shakir? It just gives you some versatility as far as customizing Office applications. So that's all. I would say that's one of the major things to glean out of 16. And then they have you also use macros, which we're not going to really go over. 17 is the last chapter that we're going to cover, and we're not covering all of it because in the last section they talk about SharePoint, and they don't have a SharePoint server for us to practice on. But this is a very important chapter on sharing project information, and so what you're going to do in this one is there's a couple of things to be aware of, and I'm actually going to send us back to the whiteboard. So please tell me if you see the whiteboard right now. Is it? Do you see the? Okay. Let's go to the next one. We did that. Yeah, so just a key point is that your source program is the one that you're copying from, and your destination program is the one you're copying to, and they use those terms when you're doing the exercise. And then they show you how to use project to open a file produced in another program, and then how to save project data to other file formats using the import-export maps. And then the final part of it is generate Excel and Visio docs using visual reports. And so you're not going to see, and I'll show you what that looks like, but you won't see the Visio reports unless you have Visio installed. And then, of course, send me an email if you would like Visio Pro 2010, and I can send you. The links are already there. I need to give you the product key. So please send that to me. Let's see. Just let me show you, I think, one of the more important things that you may do, or you may have. You could have information in Excel. Remember, we said, why would you use, some people have used Excel for project management or managing projects. And some people may have some information there. So you can import information from Excel. And what you would do, let's go to the one document that they have. And let's see, I think I'm in the wrong chapter, but hold on one moment. I'm going to go to, you're going to go to File, Open, and then under your types of file, you're going to go to Excel 97 to 2003, and they have a task list there for you. And what it does is when you bring in stuff from other places, because project can import a lot of different things. Let's go back and see what it can import. You can open up, you can have databases, you can have access databases, an Excel workbook, you can have text, you can have XML format, CSV, comma delimited file, and then of course projects that were created, Microsoft project files created in other versions. And remember, your latest version is going to open up anything earlier than that, right? So if we click on Excel 97 2003, click on that, and it'll open up this little import wizard, and it'll say if you've used this will create your data settings from scratch, and if you say use existing maps, it'll use existing maps to see the ready-made. And you can go either way on this. So you can say this is a new project, and then you could say I want the tasks, and you could put anything that you had in there. If there were resources attached, you could have that. And then you click on Next, and if there are multiple worksheets, you're going to pick the one that had the information. So in this case, it's the task worksheet. And then it gives you kind of a preview of what that's going to look like. And then you might get this error message that says that you're going to save a file in older format. The file may be less secure than a file saved new file, and you say yes. And then what it does is that it will put in, it's going to put it into manual scheduled mode. It'll put the task name, and then it's going to put the duration that you had. But it's going to put an automatic dates that are based on today's date. So that's where these come from. All right. So you could have different things there. Of course, you can export to other programs as well, and there's a couple of things that you can do. I think we've done this in the past, where let's just go to Gantt chart view. I'll just go to timeline. Whoops, sorry. View. Go to timeline, and oh, let me go back to my. Oh, Shakir, are you seeing? I apologize. Are you seeing any of this stuff that I'm showing you in? You are seeing it. Good. Okay. I just realized something that I may have forgotten to do that. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Did I lose my? Yeah. So let me go to the timeline here, and let me do it. Let's do weeks. And let's see. And okay. So we could we could export that timeline. We can go to copy timeline, and we can put it for a presentation and so forth there. We can also highlight tasks, and then go to copy, and then we could put them in. And I'm going to switch us over to Word, and we can paste them into there. So let me show you. Not sure if it's going to come out, but let me see if that works there. If you see Microsoft Word, and this is what we copied from our file, so we can do that, and then of course we can export things to different file formats too. So we can let me back to the whiteboard real quick and go back to application sharing, and I'm gonna take that one out, and hopefully you will see. Whoops, sorry. This should be application sharing. And did that? I'm not sure if you're seeing. Let me go to whiteboard. Let me go. Sorry. Okay, you should see project again. And this you can of course save project into different formats as well, and you can even put it into a text. If you start doing this, it will I'll go here. You're going to get this message. You want to save this file, and it's going to bring it up into an export wizard too. And you can call it, we'll have it be cost data, and next, and we'll finish it up. And then when you bring it up, you're going to see it in a format. I don't think I have that running right now, but let me see. So it's just a simple text file. And let me go back to let's see if Notepad will come up. And you can go back and open that file. And what it'll do is it'll have that information if you ever need it in a text file. It doesn't look great because it's not so great. But anyway, so project is very, very flexible. You can import things, and you can make it into a new project. You can export things in Word and Excel, and so forth. And then one of the other things that you can do is start sharing again, and that is, let's see, is there anything else I needed to cover in 17? Yeah, so project has, we've gone through many of the reports. If we go to project, and if you go, we've done the simple reports here and done some editing and used those, and those are very common. But we also have what's called visual reports, and some people really like these. Now, since I have Visio installed, it's going to show me all of the different Visio ones. So, like there's this assignment usage one, and I can just click on that and view it. And what it's going to do, it's going to open up. Oh, I didn't like that. Okay, so it's not liking that one file. Let me see if it'll work now. Okay, so it did. Okay. Well, I may have too many things open right now, so let me close some things right now. Okay. All right. Let's go back to project and see if it's still there. Anyway, so there's a mixture of Excel and Visio-based reports. So if I wanted just to look at a simple budget cost report, I can go to View, and this is going to open up in it. Okay. I'm having some issues, and I think part of it is it's trying to do this while I'm not sure why it's doing this. So anyway, I'm having some issues here, but I think you can see that you can create some different reports, and if you see something with a V, it gives you a little snapshot of what it's going to look like here, and then you can open those up. But if you don't have Visio installed, you're not going to see any of the Visio reports. that's kind of what I wanted to focus on. Okay. So whatever reason, it's not working right now. But anyway, sorry about that. But it should work on your computer, and it did work earlier. But for some reason, being in this C confirm mode of sharing, it's not liking that. So, oh, I could possibly. Well, let me do something here. I think I can get this to work. Just hold on one moment. It won't take a second. Let me stop sharing for a second. Nope, still not working. Okay, I thought maybe sorry about that. Okay, well, Shakira, for some reason I just can't get that to work. So, but anyway, that's what the end part of that section is. There is another section that really talks about let's see, that we're not really we didn't cover. But I mean, it's about synchronizing between project and SharePoint. So, we not really. It doesn't help to really cover that section. But if it's of interest to you, you can do that. So, and yes. Oh, can you see the whiteboard right now, Shakir? Okay. Yes, 17 is only for extra credit. It will be covered under the final exam, though, but up to page 391. But you do not have to do that. It's not required. So, yeah, a couple things. Your final project assignment. It's just going to be basically everything that you've updated, so all your updated tasks and everything you've tracked. Updating your percentage of work completed, updating any milestones, and then if there's any previously suggested corrections, you're going to save that. And then you're going to have a final status report just since your last one. So it'll be everything that you've accomplished since the last time. And if there's not a lot that you haven't done, that's okay. Just say there were only a couple things we were able to accomplish or whatever. So that's also to submit both those files in the final project folder in the final project Dropbox. So that's worth 30 points. Okay, and there is a rubric there, so you can look at what the things I'll be looking for in that one. Any questions about the final project assignment? Basically, it's kind of like what you did for your baseline, only you're going to kind of update everything so far, so show that all the percentage of work completed. So, update any milestones, update any tasks, update any durations, or make any changes that you had to do. So, and then give a final status report too. Your final exam, it'll cover chapter 6 through 10, 12 to 15, and part of 17 to page 391, and appendix A in your book. A and B in your book, actually. There's not really much in B, so it's about 35 multiple choice, true, false, short answer, and essay question. It's open book, open notes. You can go back and look at your quiz for review and let me know if you can't see them. I would recommend also going back to some of our discussion topics. There might be some stuff on there. You have about 2.5 hours to complete it, but it won't take you that long. So it'll be available Sunday night, December 9th. Actually, it's Monday, December 10th at 12:01 a.m. You have until Saturday, December 15th at 9 p.m. to finish it. And it's worth 150 points, or 25% of your overall grade. Okay? So that's the final exam. And I think you'll find it pretty straightforward. Any questions about that, Secure? No? Okay. So the homework for this week and next week is to read Chapter 15 and 17 through page 391 and do the chapter work for 15. Submit to the Dropbox Chapter 15. There's actually 2 files for this. There's the modified MPP file and a PDF file. So there's 2 files for Chapter 15. If you want to, you can do the extra credit assignment, and but in that one you're going to submit 3 files. There's an Excel file, there's the new project file, and then there's a text file. So there's 3 of them for that one. Okay. Okay, great. I'm glad that you got that done. And you submitted both the 2 files there, Shakir? Okay, great. All right. And there is a quiz on Chapter 15 and 17. And, oh, this got kind of whacked out here. You can take the final exam, as I already said. And then your status report, your final project box. There is also an extra credit survey worth 10 points, so take that by December 15th, and that's available December 11th. And just a reminder that all work must be turned in no later than Saturday, December 15th, 11:55, except for your final exam, which I'd like you to get that in a little bit earlier. I don't want people freaking out there. First of all, thank you for being a great class, and I hope the class has been helpful. Just wanted to review a little bit of what we learned. You know, we used advanced features of MS Project to fine-tune a business project, and we used to plan and manage a project. We explained, we went over MS application and software, MS Project application software problems. And then we looked at adjusting resources. We monitored and analyzed the progress, and we used percent completions, or what we were using for tracking a project plan. And then we learned about printing and modifying printing and publishing the project plan. Let's see, some topics. We did tracking progress, we fine-tuned task details, and we fine-tuned assignment details, and we printed project information, we formatted project details, we shared it with other programs, which is what we just covered, and we tracked progress on tasks and assignments. We viewed and reported on project status through different reports or through a status report. And we learned about the different things that you can do to get your project back on track, whether dealing with, cost and test variance, or if your scope is just too big and you may have to cut down on it. So, yeah, we did a lot. It was quite a bit in 10 weeks, huh? So I felt like some things we didn't cover as deeply. And also, I think it was good that we had, and I don't know if you found that helpful, Shakir, but I thought she did a great job. I just wish the recording was a little bit better on how to pass the PMP exam. And I thought it was a really thorough and complete presentation. And I think you guys will, you have all those files there that you can benefit from. So, let's see. So what's next? So what to do after this course? Well, if you want to, you can go back to Chapter 16 and learn more about macros. And you can look at Chapter 18, which works better with a project server, but you can do some consolidating projects and resources, and I think that's a good chapter. I just couldn't cover everything, so I had to do with kind of what we already had. I want to recommend a few great books besides the book we have. There's a book called MS Project 2010: The Missing Manual by Bonnie Biafor, and we looked at some of the lynda.com training videos, and Bonnie is the one who does those. She also co-wrote a book with a couple other authors called Microsoft Project Inside Out, and that's even a little bit more thorough than this book. So. And then Lynn, well, your book, said that if you want to really get into project management and learn how to pass the PMP exam, This is the book you need, the PMBOK Guide, which I got to tell you is very hard to get through because it's kind of boring, but you have to really know it. And then if you want to pass the PMP, there's the book, Rita's Course in a Book for Passing the PMP Exam by Rita Mulcahy. Those are some helpful books there. And then I have one last thing. If you want to keep further, doing more stuff on project certificate or stuff, you can look at what that entails, the project management certificate, and that's offered through the business college or the business department at Mission. And there are there classes, and some people are already taking these or one of them. There's the beginning part, which is the fundamentals of project management, which is much more theory-based. We covered a little bit of that, but this goes into much more details. And then there's the applied project management, where you do work with a group for a major project too. So there's some really good principles there. So and both of these classes will help you with if you ever want to pass or take the PMP exam. Lynn had talked about joining the local Silicon Valley Project Management Institute, and then and there's a discount for students. I think she said it was like there's $29 plus a fee, so it's like $39 or something. And then there's the Microsoft Project Users Group, which does require a fee too, but I think it's a discount there. So that brings us to, is there anything else to cover? I think that is it. That's my last slide there, Shakir. So any questions about anything else? I think I've graded everything, all the discussion questions through week 9, and then chapter 14 and the status reports, but I haven't graded anything after that. So if you've turned in stuff on 15 or 17, those have not been graded. So, but great to have you guys. Really interesting projects, international projects like yours, Shakir. There's prepping for a baby. There's some people are doing the CAN project. Other people are doing some work-related project and starting a business. So it's really varied. I'm going to publish those for everybody to see, and I think that would be kind of exciting for you to see what people did with their permission too. So I'll try to get everyone's permission. All right. Well, that's all I have. Any questions you have, Shakir? Well, thank you, and thank you for all your good questions and good discussions, and good luck on any other finals you have besides this one. I think you guys you're on the home stretch. I just want to encourage you that you're almost there. So have good luck on finals, and have a great holiday break if I don't talk to you before that. So. Oh, one last thing is, if people are having some issues, I am going to be in the Tech Center tomorrow from 5 to 7. That's Thursday 5 to 7 if people are on campus. And I know that's hard for people, but you can also email me, and I'm pretty quick on getting back. So, all right, great. Well, talk to you later, and thanks again for coming. Good night.